Good afternoon, everyone. Starting this video to update you on this very complex market scenario. We began the week with a very manipulated, very complex, very difficult market, let's say, because Trump announced the issue of tariffs. Europe retaliated, did not accept it, and this caused the main indices, to suffer a very large drop, the international market. This reflected in the crypto. In Bitcoin, not so much. I thought it could have been worse. In Bitcoin, however, Bitcoin's dominance increased a lot. This shows us that even in the face of this complicated situation happening in the world, Bitcoin's dominance continues to grow. So Bitcoin continues to be an asset that in the long term will have a lot of value, right? Today, investors are already looking at Bitcoin, I believe, with a different perspective than before, right? Truly as a store of value, right? Like digital gold, as many say, right? But for day trading, for entering, then to open trades, right? We are in an interesting region to be opening positions. For swing trading in some altcoins, even in Bitcoin, if we look at the spot market. However, with this significant rise in Bitcoin's dominance, and Bitcoin itself making a downward movement, even though it wasn't a very aggressive movement, it caused altcoins to experience a strong decline. Well, so today I'm going to talk to you, right? I'll show the weekly chart, mainly for us to have a market bias, the clearer narrative. I will be talking more about Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But then we have some altcoins that are quite interesting for us. We are setting up medium to long-term positions, taking good swing opportunities, aligning ourselves for entries, and looking for scalps. We need the market to form a clearer structure so we can identify positions with good risk return, right? So, this is very important. So in Bitcoin here, what do we have, right? At the start of the week, we had the weekly candle depreciating by 5%, right? Compared to the altcoins, it's something where Bitcoin practically moved very little, right? There was it's a much lower downward pressure compared to them, but it's exactly because of the dominance. It's rising very strongly. But for Bitcoin, I look at the key level, which is very important here, which would be the closing of this country. Value and gap are right on top of the 0.5 region of the Fibonacci, that is 50% of this upward impulse. So it would be quite interesting if the market were to drain liquidity, right, from the 73,000 and made the upward movement, started the upward flow, right? In case the global scenario worsens a bit more. And this also reflects in the cryptos. What can we see? Instead of us seeing a buying opportunity in the region of 73,800 or a little below at 72, we might see Bitcoin sweeping the liquidity of this key level, closing this fair value gap and mitigating this FVOB, which would be an order block in the middle of this upward impulse. And this region is between 69,000 and 65,000, right? And it would align well with our OTI zone. So it would be quite interesting if we could make a purchase in the region of 60,600 or in the region of 60,500, right? But between 69 and 65 is an excellent buying point for us to be building positions there, even more aggressive ones, right? Because it's a very interesting region, you see. It's quite likely that Bitcoin will have difficulty reaching this key level region of 73,600. Here, it's quite likely that I will also look for alignment to make a purchase or even to set up small portions of swing in a fractional manner. The region is very interesting. The structure of Bitcoin remains strong. Bullish remains quite interesting. This aggressive movement in cryptocurrencies, it was really due to this impact, right? These economic data that came out, these statements from Trump, so everything impacted the crypto market. Ethereum in particular was heavily impacted. We had a long position in Ethereum in this upper part, and this position was activated. Initially, it paid us approximately 10%, but soon after, right, I even went on to share again the possibility of opening a position. The market went, mitigated the region, and broke. It's the first point, so it hasn't hit our stop yet. Loss, right?